Kia ora everyone. So today's class we're going to be focusing on releasing the piriformis muscle. So the piriformis muscle is the one of the muscles that help to externally rotate the leg. And when this muscle gets tight, it can be notorious for pinching on the sciatic nerve. So if you have sciatic nerve issues, this could be one of the reasons. This tightness through the contraction of the piriformis muscle can pinch and cause pain all the way from the buttocks right down through the back of your legs. So if you do have pain in this area, of course, you just be mindful of how you move the body and only move to your comfort level. For the class you will need a strap or a scarf or just something that you can take around your foot, so we'll just do some flossing of the nerve. So let's begin by just setting an intention for the practice. So you just come to a place of gratitude, as I said, for the practice, but you may like to set an intention for the day. And set your intention. And then come down onto your back. Just have the strap handy because we will be moving into, we'll use that from this position. So just sitting up, finding your neutral spine, allow your legs to come long. Just notice how you're feeling in the body. Just observing your breathing, the natural rhythm of your breath. Notice the quality of the breath and notice if there's any areas that it's getting stuck. Okay, and then you can just plant your heels down into the ground. So anchor them right down. And then we're going to start to rock the body. So you can just start to rock your feet. You'll probably start to already notice this up the body. You can start off with just gentle movement. So just tipping your feet forward and back. Feel this all the way up through the legs, right up to the head. This helps to get the lymphatic system on moving, the lymph moving through the body. It also just helps to wake up the fluid in the body and just warm up all the synovial fluid in the joints. And you can get quite vigorous here, so just keeping the heels on the ground and then just rocking back and forwards. So notice the feeling in the feet, through the legs, into the hips and the pelvis. Notice your spine, all the way through the back of your shoulders, your arms, through the back of your head. Just moving as slow or as fast as feels good for you. Okay, and just slowing the movement down. And then just rest. Just pause for a moment and just notice the energy flowing in the body. Okay, and then start by just bending your knees. Bring your right knee toward your chest. And you're going to just take your strap around the ball of your foot. Okay, and we'll just start off by just taking your leg away from you and towards you. So just starting to just floss the nerve. Actually, you probably need a fairly long strap. This scarf is actually quite small. Can't take my leg further away, but ideally you'll be taking your leg as far away as is comfortable for you. So just notice the sensations that you're experiencing all the way through the back line of your body. Okay, and then we're going to start to just bend your at the hip, knee drawing towards your chest, bending the knee, and then just extending. And so just moving your leg like as though you're folding like an accordion fold. Just any movements that would feel good. So thigh towards your chest and extending out. And you can push out through the sole of your foot as you do this. And you can take the leg away. So just finding movement in this leg, feeling it all the way into the hip. Maybe bringing the thigh towards your chest. And we can even go into the knee, so just bending the heel in toward your thigh. Okay, and then just release the strap, switching your legs over. So take the strap around the ball of your left leg, and then again you're just extending away and towards you. I might just grab my other strap and just show you with that one while I continue. Don't look at my hair right now, it's just fallen out of the my hair tie. I'll have to fix it up. There. So you probably want to get a longer belt or a longer scarf or have a strap. So you can then move your leg as much as the range of movement in your body allows you to. Okay, and then again you can start to draw the thigh in towards your chest, take the leg away, and then maybe pushing out towards the ceiling. And then maybe drawing the heel down towards your thigh. So just moving the leg again in any way that feels good for the leg. Okay, just another couple of rounds of breath. Okay, and then you can just slowly release the strap. So just placing the strap off to the side somewhere. Okay, and then we're going to roll over. Just rolling over onto your right side. You want to bring your knees up to about hip height or thereabouts, just resting your head onto your hand, your head onto your arm. And then just take your left foot just slightly behind your right. Okay, we're going to just feel into the piriformis muscle here, and what we want to notice is just a bit of self-discovery, noticing if your piriformis muscle is tight. Okay, so what you're going to do is just start to lift the left knee up towards the ceiling, left leg up towards the ceiling, keeping the foot on the ground, and notice if you're rolling back. You're not wanting to roll back here, so the movement may not be huge. So just lift it up to a height that's comfortable for you, and then with your hand, just feeling around this buttock area, and the piriformis muscle, probably feel it. It's rock hard, quite hard here as it starts to engage and contract. So just observing that, and then as you lower your knee down, you want to notice, does the muscle keep contracting or is it releasing? Okay, and we're just going to bring awareness to this area. So again, just lifting the knee up just to a height that's comfortable for you. Feel around, you're giving some feedback here by placing your hand onto the muscle. And then we're going to just slowly lower the leg down. And then just noticing if the muscle is releasing. And then just relax for a moment. We'll do it one more time. So again, lifting your knee up towards the ceiling. Again, not rocking the hip back. And again, feel around. Notice the contraction of the muscle. The muscles. And then just lower your knee down towards the ground, and again paying attention to the release. And you can feel around and notice if it feels still rock hard. Okay, and then we'll just switch sides. So rolling over onto your left side, and I'll do it from behind this time so you can just see it from the opposite side. Okay, so again, knees up to about hip height, or maybe not as high as that, just out towards the front of your body, and then your right foot comes in behind your left foot. Okay, again, hand onto your buttock, and remember that we're not rolling back here to lift the knee up as high as we can. We just want to start to lift the right knee up just until you start to feel it. And again, feel around, notice the muscle here, observe if it feels the same on this side as the other side, and then gently lower back down. As you lower back down, notice if the muscle's releasing. Again, feel. Just relax. We're not wanting to turn on these big glute muscles. So notice if you're clenching your buttock here to do this one. Just see if you can keep them, but the glute muscles relaxed. Okay, and again, just feeling in here. And then just gently release. We'll do it one, I can't remember how many times. I think this is the third time. So if it's only twice, do it one more time. Okay, so again, feeling, notice the contraction of the muscle, and then gently release it. And again, just feel around, notice the release. And then come over onto your back. And just pausing here. Just take a couple of breaths, just observing the sensations. Okay, and then when you're ready, we're going to just windshield wiper the legs. So you're going to bring your feet together. And then we'll take the knees down towards the right, to center, and then towards the left, and allow them just to kind of drop down towards the side without forcing them down. So just allowing them to fall to the side. They don't need to come all the way down to the ground, so just wherever they land. Okay, we're going to start to release the opposite leg. So as you bring your knees down to this, to the right, you're going to extend your left leg long, and then keeping your toe connected to the ground, start to sweep your leg out and around towards the right side of the room. And then just sweep your leg back and stack your knees, and then bring your knees back up. And then the opposite side. So lowering the knees down, extend your right leg, sweeping it around, keeping the toe connected, big toe connected to the ground, and then bring your leg back. Okay, you may need to just reset each time, and then just going down from one side to the other. And you may start to get a little bit deeper as you start to warm up. So the toe and the leg may, whoops, I've got to lower down first, may come up a little bit higher. I'm losing the rhythm now. Okay, so dropping the knees first, and then the leg goes long and around. Okay, let's just do about another 2 or 3 rounds. So you can go fast or you can go slow. And let's one more here. And then just bringing both legs up. Just give your knees a hug. You're just going to just gently rock from side to side. Just massaging the lower back area. Okay, and then take your hands onto each knee. So one hand onto each knee, and then just circle your knees away from each other and then towards each other. And then take it in the other direction. And then just give your knees a hug. And then we'll come all the way up to a seated position. And we're just going to windshield wiper the legs again. This time we'll take the legs away, the feet away from each other. I'll just tie my hair up since it's all fallen down. Okay, so hands behind you, just feet to opposite sides of your mat, and then just lower your knees down to one side and then to the other side. Just observing the range of movement you have here. So the feet stay where they are, and you're just dropping your knees down to one side and then the other. Okay, just one more time here, and then come back, bring both knees up, and again you're going to lie back down onto the ground. Okay, and then take your right ankle onto your left thigh. And again, we'll just drop the knees down to one side and then the other, not forcing your knees or thighs down to the ground. Okay, just take it one more down to the left, and then over to the right, and come back to center. Okay, we're going to come into a reclined pigeon pose. This is a great pose to help release the piriformis muscle. So when you're ready, you keep your your ankle onto your left thigh and just push out through the sole of your foot as though you're trying to get your sole of your foot onto the wall opposite. And just notice here how that feels in the ankle. So what you're wanting to not do is just allow the pinky toe side of your foot just to fall out. And then you'll probably see lots of little creases in your ankle joint. So we're wanting to extend through that area, protecting the ankle. Okay, from here, this may be enough for you to see how you're feeling. But if it's comfortable, you're going to start to draw your left thigh towards your chest, just until you start to feel it into this outer right hip. And your hands may come around the left thigh, so taking your hands on either side of the thigh and then maybe wrapping your fingers around. This is one of the best stretches for the piriformis muscle because it's helping to lengthen out this way. So the piriformis muscle, most of the muscles down the back go downwards. Thinking of like the spinal muscles, and this one comes across, so it goes across the buttock. Okay, so we're just going to lower the leg down. Just take a moment here, just pause. Just notice the sensations in this outer right hip. Okay, now we're going to take the right knee across towards your right shoulder. So we'll start in the same position. So again, just make sure you're not sickling your ankle here. And then you can start to take your left hand onto your right knee and then just drawing your right knee across towards the left shoulder. And this will just change the positions where you feel it just slightly. So just notice any differences. And just breathing here. Okay, slowly lower your left foot down. Just release your hand. Again, just staying in the same position. Okay, we're going to this time take the knees towards the legs towards the left side. So you allow your left thigh to come down to the ground until the right sole of your foot lands on the ground. Okay, from here, you can just take your right arm just out to the side, maybe up on the diagonal, just so you're opening up through the chest. And then take your left hand onto your right ankle. And you want to make sure that the foot connects with the ground, or you can use something to bring the ground up to your foot. So you may use a block or a book or something to stand on. Okay, once you've got your foot down, then you're going to just start to actively push your right thigh away from you. So just the thigh drawing away from the chest, and you should start to feel it all the way down through the outside edge of the right thigh. Just keeping the back of your head on the ground, so the base of your skull. Just feel that right side of the ribs drawing down towards the ground. Okay, and then just slowly release, bring your knees back up, uncross your legs, and then just pause for a moment. Again, you may like to just close your eyes here and just observing the sensations that you're feeling, observing the difference between the left and the right side. Then before we come onto the other side, you may like to give your knees a hug in towards your chest, maybe gently rocking from side to side. Okay, and then come onto the other side. So lower your feet back down to the ground, knees bent, and then you'll take your left ankle onto your right thigh. Again, just push out through the sole of your left foot, just so you're taking all those little creases out of the ankle. Okay, again, this may be enough for you to stay here. So it could already be intense. Another option too, if you are using a book or a block, is just to lift your foot up, and you can rest it on the block or the book, and this again may be enough for you. Otherwise you can start to draw your thigh toward your chest, wrapping your hands around the back of your thigh. Just breathing here, just feeling into the sensations down through the outer left side, left hip. Okay, slowly release your hands, lower your foot down to the ground, just keeping the same formation with your legs. Okay, now we're going to use our right hand to take a hold of the left knee. So again, just lifting your foot off the ground. So be your right foot off the ground. Take your right hand across to your left knee, and then just gently drawing the knee towards the shoulder. And they don't have to connect, it's just in that direction. Can lower your left foot to the ground if that feels more comfortable. Just notice if you're clenching the muscles around this outer left hip. So you want to come to a place where you can allow the muscles just to relax. Okay, slowly release your knee. Just lower your right foot back down to the ground. Again, just take a couple of breaths, just pause. Notice whatever you notice in the body. Okay, now again, we're going to come into the IT band stretch. So sole of the foot, push out through the sole of your left foot. Then you lower your knees down towards lower your right knee down towards the ground, so the left foot connects with the ground. Okay, and again, if it doesn't connect with the ground, use something underneath the leg, underneath the foot, I should say. So just using a block or a book. Okay, and then you want to just have your hand around your ankle. Just allow the left side of the chest to open up, so just taking your left arm away. Maybe on the diagonal, just maybe out to a T. And then you're going to start to actively draw your left thigh away from your chest, while still keeping the connection of the inside edge and the outside edge of your left foot to the ground, or to your block, or to your book. You can notice here if you're clenching your glute muscles, your buttock muscles, just seeing if you can just soften those muscles so you can just allow your body just to relax into the pose. Okay, and then slowly bring your legs back up. And you can give your knees a hug in toward your chest. Maybe just gently rocking from side to side, and then maybe circling your knees away from each other and then towards each other. And then just place your feet down on the ground, and again just observing the left and the right sides. Notice if there's any differences. Okay, and then roll over onto your front side. This prone position. Come into Sphinx pose. So you want to have your forearms just directly underneath your forearms on the ground, with your elbows directly underneath your shoulders. Just notice how this feels in the lower back before we begin. So if it's really intense in your lower back, you're going to just slide your forearms, your hands a little bit further away from you, maybe so the lower ribs come down to the ground. And you can just gently push down into your pubic bone, just toeing through the tops of your legs and just lifting your sternum up. If you feel like you're compressing just at a single point in your lower back, just take your hands a little bit further forward. Just continuing to breathe. Okay, now when you're ready, take your right leg out to the right, so the knee comes up to about hip height, still staying in the Sphinx pose, so forearms down on the ground, lifting your sternum up. And you're bringing your leg up to a height that feels comfortable for you. And just continuing to breathe and hold. Okay. Slowly start to release your right leg down, just moving your hips gently from side to side. Just reset the pose. And then take your left leg out. So again, you're just sliding out to the side and just gently drawing the knee up. Your toes will be pointing towards the back of the mat or towards the back of the room. Your gaze can stay forward, or if it's more comfortable, just lowering your gaze towards the ground. Try not to collapse into the pose though. So keep lifting up through the forearms, sternum lifting. Just take another full cycle of breath. And then you slowly release your left leg. Just again moving your hips gently from side to side. And then just take your hands alongside you. And then just push into your hands, lift your chest up, and then slide back to a child's pose. And you can have your forearms in front, or maybe resting your forearms in front, so you're resting your forehead down. Okay, and then bring your hands forward, lifting up, just curling your toes under. Come forward a little bit on the mat. Okay, from here, you're going to just lengthen your sternum forward. And then slowly taking your, you want to take your tailbone back first, so reaching it towards the back of the room before you start to round. Okay, so keep reaching it back, and then at that last moment, your hips will come down towards your heels, and you can round to that lower back. And then just rising up, reaching the sternum forward. And then again, tailbone draws straight back towards the back of the room, and then you start to round. Let's do that again. So push into your hands, rising up, reaching the sternum, the crown of your head forward. As you come back, tailbone draws straight back, and then you start that progressive contraction through the front as you take your hips towards your heels, and just pushing out through the soles of your feet as well. And then just come up. You can just tap out through the soles of your feet. And then when you're ready, you're going to just curl your toes under again, hover your knees above the ground, and then take your hips back, and then hips up. Come into downward facing dog. Just breathing here in your downward facing dog, navel drawing in. You can keep your knees bent as much as you need here. Okay, and then just glide your body forward. You're going to step your right foot forward, and then walking your hands around so you're facing the long side of your mat. And you'll have your just toes, knees in a line, coming into a goddess variation. So taking your sit bones back, reaching the crown of your head forward, so taking a deep squat. And then start to take your hands over towards your left foot, and then you're going to start to circle your hands towards your right, and then just moving from side to side. And what you're doing with your hands is just making a figure eight. They're coming down and around, so you're just moving gently from side to side through the hips. Bending into each knee, moving from one side to the other. Just take one more full cycle here. And then bring your hands back to center. And again, just taking your sit bones back, reaching the sternum forward, crown of the head forward, and then releasing. And we'll come down back onto your sit bones. So come to a seated position. Just extending your legs long, and you're going to take your right ankle again onto the front of your thigh, so onto the front of your left thigh, just like we did when we were lying down. So it's a very similar pose. It's another variation of pigeon pose. So again, push out through the sole of your foot. Now we want to hinge at the hips. So instead of the rounding, so we were drawing the thigh towards our chest before, this time we're going to bring the chest forward. So what we want to do is just sit up tall. The hinging happens at the hips, and notice if you're rounding into the back here. Okay, just activate the leg, so pushing out through the soles of your feet, and then slowly come forward. And it may not be a very big movement at all. Just breathing here. And take a breath in, just slowly walking your hands back, lifting your chest up, and then switch your legs over. You may like to just shake out, and then take the opposite leg to the opposite thigh. Again, push out through both feet. And then hands alongside you, lengthen, so lifting up through the crown of your head, and then hinge forward at the hips. So again, notice if you're starting to round into the lower back here, you want to keep that lower back lengthened, crown of the head, so creating the axial extension, which we've been doing in class. And just breathing. And then take a breath in, slowly walk your hands back, release your legs, and then come all the way down onto your back, and just give your knees a hug. Again, you can circle your knees away from each other and towards each other. We'll just finish coming into happy baby. If full happy baby is too much for you, you can just take variations. So you can take the soles of your feet together, knees out wide, maybe just holding on to your ankles or shins. Otherwise, knees still stay out wide, taking the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling, then maybe wrapping your hands around the outside edges of the feet, or again, hands onto your thighs or onto your shins. Just breathing here. Keep your base of your skull on your mat, spine long. And then slowly release. And just make your way down into Shavasana. Just take a few easeful breaths, just feeling the back of your hips, the buttocks. You're welcome to stay here as long as you choose. When you're ready, just make your way up to a seated position. Take your hands together at your heart center. And just take a moment just to acknowledge the time that you've spent honoring yourself this morning. If you have any questions at all, you can just write a message down the bottom of this post. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.